Welcome to Sessions on Quality Research, where we simplify the research journey for scholars and academics. I am your host, and today we are featuring a seasoned researcher, academic and practitioner who will be discussing on plagiarism in research and also about various forms of it. Stay tuned and watch till the end for expert insights and practical tips. Master AI effortlessly with our channel, covering Python, free AI tools, data engineering, generative AI, cloud fundamentals, and more, perfect for beginners, researchers, academics, and professionals. Subscribe now, hit like, and share with your friends and colleagues to stay ahead in the AI revolution.
Well, plagiarism is quite a well-known term these days, and here in this tutorial I am trying to point out certain ways and means of plagiarism from which we must stay away. Otherwise, unknowingly or knowingly, we will commit serious research misconduct. Since plagiarism is termed as a significant misconduct in research practices. Plagiarism is nothing but to impersonate someone else's work as your own. So plagiarism is to attempt representation of someone else's work. However, this practice of plagiarism is nothing new. It was there long back and it has started since ages. Well, it has gone undetected since there were no standard rules or practices for finding it out or locating it out. Recently, there is a huge advancement in technology due to which there are certain softwares which are active enough to find out plagiarism in any article or research work that you submit. The first one, which is defined as a misconduct in research, is fabrication, which is you can manipulate your data or results and recording and reporting them in a different way or a different manner rather than in which it is supposed to be. For example, you are having certain kinds of results which you may fabricate the results, which you may manipulate the result and may present it to the research community, which is fabrication. Then falsification is to manipulate your research materials. That is, you may omit certain data, you may change certain data and results such that the research is not accurately represented in the research record. Why you do that? Because you may be willing to show someone else's work as your own work just by changing certain values and just by enhancing or decreasing certain values in that particular research, which is also one of the significant misconduct in research and known as falsification. Then comes plagiarism, which is the appropriation of another person's ideas. That is, plagiarism, as I have already said, it is representing someone else's work as your own, which is again a serious misconduct in research. So, research misconduct does not include honest error or differences in opinion. You can have difference in opinion from any other researcher or an established researcher, but then that is not a misconduct. I have also jotted down different types of plagiarism for you. So the first one is complete plagiarism, second one is source-based plagiarism, third one is direct plagiarism, fourth one is self or auto plagiarism, followed by paraphrasing plagiarism, then inaccurate authorship, then mosaic plagiarism, and then accidental plagiarism. These are the different types of plagiarism which are existing. So if we are talking about complete plagiarism is nothing but it is a severe form of plagiarism. In this case, in case of complete plagiarism, a researcher takes a manuscript or a study and he or she impersonate it as his or her own, and the credit of this particular research, whoever has done it in real, is suppressed, and the entire research work or the report or the dissertation is being submitted in the name of that particular researcher who has done the plagiarism. You can take the example of ghostwriting here. Ghostwriting, as you already know, that ghostwriting is nothing but someone else is writing your work and you are representing this work as your own without mentioning the name of the actual author, and the actual author may be paid some kind of financial assistance or some other kind of facilities by this person who has appointed him to do the ghostwriting. So this is what is complete plagiarism. I feel you have understood the concept of complete plagiarism. After that comes the source-based plagiarism. So source-based plagiarism is another type of plagiarism which may occur because of different types of sources. When a researcher references a source that is incorrect or does not exist. So the researcher do not really want to show you the actual source from where his research has originated or her research has originated. So when these references of the source does not exist or is incorrectly being given to misguide you, that is one type of source-based plagiarism. Another is it can also take place when the secondary source of data or information is not cited, only the primary source is cited. I can give a very common example of this. In our research papers or in certain researchers' research paper, there is a portion which is known as, this is a standard practice, which is known as literature survey or background study. In that background study, many researchers perform or commit a certain kind of thing. That is, suppose there is, for every researcher or for every research work, usually there is a base paper. Base paper is a paper based on which the research work is being done finally. So from that base paper, some idea generates, and the researcher then enhances the idea, changes the idea, or has a conflict with the idea in his or her own way, and then finally come up with his or her own research. But then in that research paper, which is the base paper from which the new idea has originated, has a part, that is, that particular base paper has a part which is references, right? So in that base paper, the references portion is there. And since the base paper is very similar in idea to the research paper which this particular person or the researcher is currently working upon, the references from the base paper are being probably copied in the new research paper, and the base paper is never cited in the original research. This is what is another kind of source-based plagiarism. In this case, the researcher is not really interested to show you from where actually the idea of his or her research has originated. Rather than he has pointed out several other secondary sources from where the base paper has referred the work of that particular research. So hence, in this way, the source-based plagiarism is again creating certain kinds of the confusion in the mind of the reader. Third is direct plagiarism. In case of direct plagiarism, it is something which is verbatim plagiarism, right? So it occurs when an author copies the text of another author. That means entirely you are copying and pasting it word to word, and then you do not use any quotation mark for that, neither you refer this, and you try to pass it as your own work. After that comes self or auto plagiarism. That is a very common form, and which you may be doing unknowingly at times because of the fact that you may think that it is your own work, so where from the term plagiarism comes into. But then if you copy a significant portion of your earlier work and present it in your new work stating that this is something which I have done new, so then that is also a serious form of plagiarism, and this is known as self or auto plagiarism. That is why you may find that in several journals, and in most of the journals, it is clearly indicated that if you are reproducing a work which you have already done in some conferences or presented in some conferences, accepted in some conferences, you have to enhance this work significantly. I mean, you have to change more than 80-90% of this work, and then you have to resubmit it. You may cite the paper in your conference, but you should not copy the entire concept from whatever you have submitted or presented in the conference. So you must avoid self-plagiarism, and you must be aware that even copying from your own work is cheating and plagiarism, and it is a serious research misconduct. After that comes the paraphrasing plagiarism. So paraphrasing is nothing but to change the words or the sentences in a particular research paper in your own words, or in MS Word, if you are doing the work, some words are there which you are doing a right click and trying to find out the synonyms and putting the synonyms there. So this is what is paraphrasing. So in paraphrasing, what happens, the original idea remains same and you are doing minor changes in the sentences and trying to use it as your own work. Even if your words differ, the original idea still remains same and it is surely a form of plagiarism which is known as paraphrasing plagiarism. After that is another form of plagiarism which is known as inaccurate authorship. Inaccurate authorship refers to misleading attribution that can happen in two different ways. What are these two ways? In the first form, when an individual contributes to a manuscript but does not get the credit for it. I can provide an example for this. Let's say your research scholar or your master degree student or UG student has done a project under you and you find the project or the research work to be very resourceful. Now after the student passes out, or even the students, while the students is studying there in the university, you can publish, or some people, I'm not stating that you can publish, but there are some people who are publishing these works under their own name and never mentions the name of the students who has done this work for them. And this is what is a form of inaccurate authorship, and this is also serious misconduct when the actual person who has done this work is never been credited. There is another form of it in which certain names are introduced in your research work who has never contributed in your research work. This is the second type of inaccurate authorship. So if I'm having a good relation or good rapport or some kind of a relationship with some other person who has not contributed or not being a part of a research work which I have done, probably with my research scholar or probably with my mentee, but just due to some give and take relationship, I have mentioned the person's name in this particular research work where he or she has not contributed anything. So this is what is inaccurate authorship. This practice also must be avoided. After this comes the mosaic plagiarism. Mosaic plagiarism is also a special form of plagiarism. In mosaic plagiarism, there are certain things which we need to be very careful about. Well, mosaic plagiarism occurs when a writer reuses a mix of word, phrases, and ideas from a source without indicating which words and ideas have been borrowed. So you are using some words and phrases, and you are actually using it by mixing and matching, so that one cannot understand that whose work it is, and also you are not indicating from where you have actually picked this up. This is also a form of plagiarism and it must be avoided to encourage good research practices or best practices in research. Then comes the accidental plagiarism. Well, it is also a serious form, but it is usually been committed by the students who do not really or who are not really aware of this special term called plagiarism. So accidentally, they may copy from somewhere else, they may copy some reports, they may copy some graphs, they may copy some kind of quotations, and then put it in their report or in their dissertation or places like that. And we must educate our students, we must make them aware that this is not correct, this is a severe form of plagiarism, and since you do not know about this, that is why accidentally you have done this, and you must stay away from this kind of plagiarism. Thus, these are the different kinds of plagiarism which we encounter quite often, and we must try and avoid this sort of plagiarisms in our research work or dissertation works or report writing wherever possible.
If you found this tutorial valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and share it with others who might benefit. Explore the description for a link to our Udemy course, where you'll learn techniques to use generative AI to automate your daily tasks. Also, check out this YouTube channel for more videos covering Python, data engineering, ETL, cloud computing, generative AI, and much more. See you in the next video.